Let's begin with the questions which are based on mathematical concepts. Question 31. Which of the following is true? Here option A is x raised to a into x raised to b is x raised to a into b, which is not true, right? Here in option B, it should be x raised to a, not x into a, right? And into x raised to b is equal to x raised to a plus b, which is true. Right? Whereas the remaining options are not true, right? Here x raised to a into x raised to b is x raised to a plus b. Option B is the right answer. So first option is not true. And the third option, x raised to a into y raised to b. So these two are individual terms, right? Separate terms. So we cannot club them, right? So option C is not true. Whereas option D is x raised to a divided by x raised to b is equal to x raised to a minus b. It is not x raised to a by b, right? Therefore, so except option B, remaining options are false, right? So for the given question, yes, option B is the right answer. Question 32. Value of 2.05 plus 68.5 minus 6.321 plus 8.18 minus 1.5. Right? Simple calculation. Here, let us club the terms to be added and terms to be subtracted separately, right? So, which is equal to, so 2.05 plus 68.5 plus 8.18 minus, so these three terms to be added and the remaining two terms to be subtracted. So, 6.321 minus 1.5. Simple calculation directly, yes, you can add the numbers one below the other by writing, yes, like this. So here, so after the decimal point, there are two places. So we'll add the numbers which are at the 100th place. That means after the decimal point. So 8 plus 5, 13 and 5, 6, 7, right? 0.73. And before the decimal point, so the number will be 16 plus 2, 18, then 78.73. 78.73 minus, so the numbers to be subtracted, we'll add these two. So minus 6.321 minus 1.5, right? So minus 6.321 minus 1.5. So 1 minus, here it is understood that the remaining places have zeros, right? So 1 minus 0, 1, 2 minus 0, 2. So 13 minus 5 is 8 and 5 minus 1 is 4. So minus 4.821. So minus 4.821, right? Now simple calculation. So we have to subtract 4.821 from 78.73, right? So minus 4.821. So it is understood that, so that after the decimal point, third place has 0, right? So now 10 minus 1 is 9. So 2 minus 2 is 0. 7, so 17 minus 8 is 9. And 7 minus 4 is 3. And 73.909 is the answer, right? 73.909. Hence, option C is the right answer. Question 33. Which of the following statements is not true? Right? Here the first statement is HCF, that is highest common factor, and LCM, lowest common multiplier of two numbers x and y, can be respectively 28 and 84. So whether it is true or false, we have to decide, right? So we'll consider any two numbers x and y. For example, x is 6, y is 8, for example. So highest common factor means, so the factor or the number which divides both the given numbers x and y, right? Here factors of 6 are 1, 2, 3 and 6, right? Factors of 8 are 1, 2, 4 and 8. These are the factors. So here highest factor which is common is 2, right? Therefore 2 is highest common factor of x and y. So when it comes to LCM, so lowest common multiplier, So we'll consider multipliers of x and y. So multipliers means 6 itself is multiplier of 6 because 6 into 1 is 6. So then 12, then 6 into 3, 6 into 4, and it continues. When it comes to 8, its multipliers are 8 into 1 is 8, 8 into 2, 8 into 3, 8 into 4 is 32, right? Here the lowest multiplier which is common to both the numbers is 24. So LCM of 6 and 8 is 24, right? Let us consider LCM and HCF, right? HCF is 2, LCM is 24, right? Here HCF, highest common factor, is also a factor of LCM, right? So the condition to decide whether the two numbers are HCF and LCM of two numbers is the highest common factor is a factor of their LCM also, right? Because 22 is divisible by 2. It gives 12, right? Therefore, the LCM should be divisible by HCF, completely divisible by HCF, right? Therefore, so we'll consider first option. So here HCF, highest common factor, is 28, lowest common multiplier is 84. So we'll check whether LCM is divisible by HCF or not. So 84 by 28. So 28 into 3 is 84. Therefore, the first statement is true, right? So the question is, we have to decide which statement is not true, right? So consider the second one. So HCF and LCM of two numbers x and y can be respectively 1 and 105. So here LCM is 105 divided by HCF gives a whole number 105, right? Therefore, it is a true statement, right? LCM is divisible by HCF. So consider third statement. Here LCM is 900. HCF is 150, right? So 150 into 6 is 900. So it is LCM is divisible by HCF. Again, a true statement. Consider the last one. So LCM is 196, HCF is 16. So 16 into 1, 16 into 2, and 12 point something you will get. So you won't get a whole number when 196 is divided by 16. You won't get a whole number. Therefore, so these two numbers cannot be the HCF and LCM of x and y, the same numbers, right? Therefore, option D is not true. Option D, or the statement D, is not true. Hence, option D is the answer. Question 34. What is the sum of the digits of the least number that must be added to 12,500 to get a perfect square? So before going to sum of the digits, so we'll consider the least number that must be added to 12,500 to get a perfect square, right? So to get a perfect square, so the least number to be added to 12,500. So the perfect square number nearer to 12,500 is, so 12,544, right? So which is square of 112. Right, 112 into 112, you will get 12,544. Therefore, least number to be added here is 44, right? Because 12,500 plus 44 gives you 12,544. So this is the least number to be added to get a perfect square number, right? So the question is sum of the digits of the least number. Therefore, so the least number added here is 44. So sum of its digits is equal to 4 plus 4, which is 8. Right? Therefore, option D is the right answer. Question 35. Which of the following statements is true? Option A number is irrational if it can be expressed in the form of P by Q, where P and Q are integers and Q not equal to 0. So students, a number is irrational if it cannot be expressed in the form of P by Q, right? Therefore, option A is not true, right? So when it cannot be expressed in the form of P by Q, such numbers are called irrational numbers, right? So for example, pi, right? So pi cannot be expressed in the form of P by Q, right? So root 2, Root 2 also cannot be expressed in the form of p by q. Root 6, right? Such numbers are irrational numbers. Whereas option B, sum of any two irrational numbers is sometimes a rational number and sometimes an irrational number, which is a true statement. Because we'll consider two irrational numbers. So root 2 and minus root 2. We'll take the sum of these two, right? Root 2 plus minus root 2 gives you 0, a rational number. 0 is a rational number, right? So it can be a rational number, sometimes an irrational number. So we'll consider root 2 and root 3, right? Sum of these two, root 2 plus root 3 is equal to an irrational number, right? Irrational number. Therefore, so sometimes it's a rational number, sometimes an irrational number when two irrational numbers are added. Therefore, a true statement. Option B is the right answer. Whereas the remaining options, product of any two irrational numbers is always an irrational number. So here it is a false statement, right? For example, we'll consider product of two irrational numbers. Again, root 2 into root 2 or root 3 into root 3, right? Any number you can take, root 3 into root 3. So we'll give you 3, a rational number, right? Product of two irrational number is always an irrational number, not always. Sometimes it will be an irrational number. For example, root 3 product of any two irrational numbers, they are asking. So root 3 into 1 plus root 3. The product of two irrational numbers. So you will get root 3 plus 3, right? So again, an irrational number. So sometimes it is a rational number. 3 is a rational number. And in the second case, 3 plus root 3 is an irrational number. Therefore, a false statement because it is given that always an irrational number. So product of two irrational numbers, sometimes an irrational number, right? Not always. Therefore, and the last option is the square of an irrational number is always a rational number. Again, the same example can be taken. Square of an irrational number. So if you take root 6 into root 6, you will get 6, a rational number. But if you take 1 plus root 6, the whole square, you will get a plus b whole square, right? 1 plus 6 plus 2 root 6, right? So which is nothing but 7 plus 2 root 6, an irrational number. Irrational, right? Whereas in the first case, it is a rational number. Therefore, square of an irrational number is not a rational number always, right? Sometimes it is a rational number, sometimes irrational number, right? So option D is also not true, right? Therefore, second statement, option B is the right answer. Question 36. What is the coefficient of x when 8 into x raised to 4 plus 2x cube minus 15x square is divided by 4x into x plus 5? So when the first number is divided by, first expression is divided by the second one, right? You will get a quotient, right? Quotient. So in that quotient, what is the coefficient of x? Coefficient of x in the quotient. So let us divide the first expression by second one, right? So here in first expression, we'll take out x as common. So the common term becomes 8x, right? 8x into the remaining term becomes x cube plus 2x square minus 15x divided by the second term is 4x into x plus 5. So in that we can cancel x and 4 into 2 is 8. Therefore, the new term becomes 2x cube plus 2 into 2x square, which is 4x square minus 30x, right? So divided by the denominator term, which is x plus 5, right? An algebraic expression divided by another expression. So how to divide that? Take first term, which is 2x cube, divided by the first term of divisor, which is x. You will get 2x square, right? So in the quotient part, you will write 2x square. So when 2x square is multiplied by x plus 5, so 2x square into x is 2x cube right here, plus 2x square into 5 is 10x square, So subtract the second term from the first term. You will get here 2x cube minus 2x cube becomes 0, and 4x square minus 10x square becomes minus 6x square. So now borrow the second or the last term, which is minus 30x. Again here, right, in the remainder, here this is the remainder, in that we have minus 6x square. So divide this by first term of the divisor, which is x. You will get minus 6x, right, minus 6x. Now write this minus 6x here in the quotient part. So multiply this minus 6x with x plus 5. You will get minus 6x square minus 30x. And so subtract. So minus of minus becomes plus, right? So plus 6x square minus 6x square becomes 0. And the second term also minus 30x plus 30x becomes 0. Therefore, here the quotient is, so quotient is 2x square minus 6x is the quotient, right? So the question is, what is the coefficient of x in the quotient? So coefficient of x is minus 6, right? Therefore, minus 6 is coefficient of x, option D. Question 37. A number when increased by 9 becomes 3 times half of the number. What is the number? So let us consider x as the number, right? So x be that number. When it is increased by 9, so increased by 9 means we have to add 9 to that number, right? It becomes x plus 9, right? So this x plus 9 becomes 3 times half of the number. So half of the number means x by 2. Half of x is x by 2. Therefore, when the number is increased by 9, x plus 9, it becomes 3 times half of that number. 3 times means 3 into x by 2. So what is that number? So we have to find value of x, right? So take this 2 to the left hand side part. So 2 into x plus 9 is equal to 3x, right? So 2x plus 18 is equal to 3x. So take this 2 to the right hand side, it becomes 3x minus 2x, which is x. Therefore, value of x is 18. So the number is 18, right? Option D is the right answer. So when it is increased by 9, it becomes 18 plus 9, 27. So this 27 is 3 times half of x, that means half of x. So 3 times 18 by 2 becomes, so 18 by 2 is 9. So again it is 27. Therefore, so when the number is increased by 9, it becomes 3 times half of that number. Therefore, the number is 18. Option D is the right answer. Question 38. A sum of money doubles itself in 8 years at a certain rate of simple interest. In how many years will it become 4 times of itself at the same rate of simple interest? Here, students, a sum of money doubles itself means if you consider principal or sum as x rupees, so let principal P be x rupees. So it doubles itself in 8 years. So in the duration of, yes, 8 years, so it becomes double of its original amount. That means the amount becomes, amount A is 2 times principal, right? So 2x rupees, right? So sum of money x rupees doubles itself in 8 years, right? So the amount is 2x rupees. So at certain rate of interest is given. So what is the rate of interest here? First, we need to find that rate, right? So moving further, in how many years will it become 4 times of itself? That means in how many years, right? So it becomes 4x rupees, right? So at the same rate of interest. So for that, first we need to find rate of interest, right? So in first step. And in the second step, we have to find in how many years, what is the time duration, right? Time t with the same rate, right? When amount becomes A becomes 4x rupees, right? To become 4x rupees, so what is the time taken, right? With the same rate of interest. Very simple question. Let us find rate of interest. So using the formula of simple interest, right? So for a sum of X rupees, so added with the simple interest, we got an amount of 2x rupees, right? So here amount is equal to, amount is always, so principal P plus simple interest for 8 years, right? Therefore, simple interest I, right? So interest is I here. I is always amount minus principal. What is the amount here in first case? It is 2x rupees minus principal is 2x. Therefore, so amount received here is, interest received here is x rupees, right? So interest plus principal gives the total amount, right? So at what rate of interest we have received 2x rupees, that we need to find. So we know that simple interest I is, so principal into time into rate of interest by 100. Using this formula, let us find rate of interest. Here I is x rupees, right? So x rupees is equal to principal is same amount, which is same money, that is x rupees, and the time duration is for 8 years and rate of interest by 100. So we can cancel x and x. Therefore, we have R as 100 by 8%. Right? So rate of interest is 100 by 8%. So with the same rate of interest, which is 100 by 8%, right? If the principal money got not doubled, 4 times itself, right? At the same rate of interest, what is the time taken to become 4 times sum, right? 4 times the principal sum. For that, again, we are using the same formula. So I is equal to, interest is always amount minus principal, right? So here amount is 4x rupees minus principal is x rupees. Therefore, we can equate amount 3x, interest 3x, which is 3x rupees, right? Simple interest 3x is again PTR by 100. Principal time into rate of interest by 100. So here principal is the same money, x rupees into, right? So time we need to find, and rate of interest is 100 by 8% by 100. PTR by 100, right? Therefore, here we can cancel x and x will get cancelled. So 100 and 100 will get cancelled. So we have 3 is equal to t by 8. Therefore, so time taken to make the principal as 4 times, right? So A is 8 into 3 years, which is 24 years, right? 24 years. Therefore, so in 24 years, so sum of money becomes 4 times itself, right? So in 24 years, option C is the right answer. So at the same rate of interest, it becomes 4 times of itself, right? In how many years? In 24 years. Option C. Question 39. Renu was born when her mother was 30 years old. What is the present age of Renu if 5 years ago from now her mother's age was 4 times that of Renu? So students, she was born when her mother was 30 years old. So if her present age is X, right, and her mother's age is Y, right, and her mother is 30 years older than her. So that means Y becomes 30 plus X. Right? So we'll consider Renu's present age. Renu's present age as X, right? X years. And her mother's age as Y years. Mother's age as Y years. Then her mother's age is equal to 30 plus X. Her mother is 30 years older than her, right? Now, if 5 years ago from now, so their age 5 years ago. So we'll consider 5 years ago Renu's age. So if X years is her present age, 5 years ago Renu's age was X minus 5, right? And her mother's age was Y minus 5, right? And it is given that 5 years ago from now, her mother's age was 4 times that of Renu. So therefore, y minus 5, her mother's age was 4 times Renu's age at that time. So 4 times x minus 5. Here the question is, what is the present age of Renu? We have to find value of x, her present age. For that, let us consider y as, so 30 plus x, right? So her mother is 30 years older than Renu, right? Therefore, y is 30 plus x minus 5. So y minus 5 is 4 into x minus 5 is 4x minus 20. So it becomes x plus 25. So 30 minus 5 becomes 25 is equal to 4x minus 20. So 25 plus 20, take this 20 to the left hand side, is equal to 4x minus x. Therefore, 3x is equal to 45. 25 plus 20 is 45. Therefore, value of x, here we need Renu's present age. X is 45 by 3, which is 15. So, Renu's present age is 15 years, right? Option A is the right answer. Question 40. A person takes 3.5 hours to cover a distance of 140 km. If he decreased his speed by 5 km per hour, then what is the increase in time taken by him in minutes to cover the same distance? So students, person has covered 140 kilometers of distance, right, in 3.5 hours. Right? We know that speed is distance by time. So using this information, we can find his speed. Right? So let us consider x kilometer per hour be his speed, right, to cover 140 kilometer of distance. So he takes 3.5 hours, so that his speed becomes distance by time, right? Distance by time according to the formula. Therefore, x is equal to, using this formula, we'll find the value of x, right? Here the question is, so if he decreased his speed by 5 km. So once we get the value of x, so in the second case, if he decreases speed by 5 km per hour, means if the speed in the second case is x minus 5 km per hour, right? So instead of x, if the speed is x minus 5, right, kilometer per hour, then what is the increase in time taken by him to cover the same distance? So we have to find increase in time. For that, we need time taken by him to cover the same distance of 140 kilometer, right, with less speed, which is x minus 5. For all this, we need value of x first. We'll find his speed in the first case. So speed is, distance is 140 kilometer, by time is 3.5 hour. 3.5 hour means 7 by 2, right? So which is equal to 140 into 2 by 7. So 7 into 20 is 140. Therefore, x is 20 into 2, which is 40 kilometer per hour, right? He was moving with the speed of 40 kilometer per hour, right? So in the second case, case 2, right? If speed is x minus 5, which is 40 minus 5, which is 35 kilometer per hour. And distance is the same, 140 kilometer. To cover the same distance, if he is moving with less speed, what is the time taken by them, right? Therefore, time taken is equal to, time taken by him is, since speed is distance by time, time is distance by speed. Distance by speed, right? Here distance is 140 kilometers, speed is 35. 140 by 35. So 35 into 4 is 140, right? So time taken by him to cover the same distance is 4 hours. Here the question is, what is the increase in time taken by him in minutes, right? So increase in time is, so in the first case, he took 3.5 hours. In the second case, he took 4 hours. So increase in time means 4 minus 3.5, right? So half an hour time is increase in time. So in minutes, it is 30 minutes. Half an hour means 30 minutes. Therefore, Option C is the right answer. To cover the same distance, the person took 4 hours of time. Therefore, increase in time is half an hour or 30 minutes, right? Option C. Students, if you want to practice such questions, please visit our website www.examsnet.com. You can also download our app. The link is given in the description box, so that you can practice many more questions on these mathematical concepts. Question 41. Which of the following angles cannot be drawn using scale and compass only? So students, we can draw few elementary angles using compass and scale only, right? Such angles are 90-degree angle, 60 degrees, 45 degree, 30 degree, right? Even 15 degree, right? These are all elementary angles. Elementary angles which can be drawn using scale and compass only, right? So for example, we can draw 90-degree angle. So using a scale, let us draw a straight line like this. First, let us draw a straight line, right? So using few radius, let us draw an arc. So with O as center, we have to draw an arc with the same radius from point P. If it is point P with the same radius OP, so we have to draw an arc which cuts the previous arc somewhere here, right? So with the same radius with A as point, with this point, so we have to draw another arc which cuts the same arc in another point, right? So here we have got A and B points, right? So with the same radius, draw an arc above this, and with A as center, draw one more arc which cuts the previous arc. So that, for an example, I am showing here. So if you draw two arcs like this, which cut each other, and from that point of intersection, draw a straight line to O. So you will get a right angle. This is how we have to draw a right angle using scale and compass, right? So you can draw 60-degree angle also. So for that also, so here we have to draw a straight line, right? With O as center with some radius, right? So we have to draw a semicircle like this or an arc, right? With the same radius with P as center with the same radius. So draw an arc which cuts the previous arc, right? So it cuts somewhere here, right? So from O to the point of intersection of two arcs, we have to draw a straight line. So this gives you a 60-degree angle, right? To draw a 45-degree angle, so very easy. So consider this 90-degree angle. So from P as a center, right? So with the same radius, draw an arc here, right? With Q as a center, this point of intersection, we name it as Q. With Q as center, with the same radius, draw one more arc, right? So the point of intersection from that point, so join a line from O to the point of intersection. Here it gives you a 45-degree angle, right? So from 60-degree angle also, so you can draw 30-degree angle, right? So we have to draw a bisection. That means a line which bisects 60-degree angle. For that, with PQ radius, draw an arc with P as center. From Q as center, draw one more arc. So join these two points. You will get a 30-degree angle, right? When you bisect a 30-degree angle, you will get a 15-degree angle, right? This whole is 30-degree and half of it is 15-degree, right? So in each case, you are dividing one angle, right? So if it is 90-degree angle, if you divide it, you will get a 45-degree. If it is 60-degree angle, if you divide it, you will get 30. If you still divide it, you will get 15-degree, right? This is how. So by dividing one angle, you will get another angle, right? So that means by bisecting angles, right? If you get one angle, by bisecting the angles, you will get two more angles, or more than two angles can also be drawn, right? Therefore, using scale and compass, you can draw these many elementary angles, right? Once you get 90-degree, right? From point Q, right? So you can still draw one more arc. This gives you, so 90 degree plus 45 can also be drawn, plus 60 can also be drawn, right? So if you draw 90 degree plus 45 gives you 135 degree angle, right? So 90 plus 15 degree. So to draw 15 degree, I have just explained it. So you will get 105 degree, right? So these many angles can be drawn. So, and it continues, right? By adding 15, 30, 45, 60 degree. This is how you can draw angles using compass and scale. But what about 40 degree angle? You cannot draw directly 40 degree angle. So by bisecting also you cannot draw 40 degree angle, right? Therefore, so it is not a straightforward task. So to draw 40 degree angle, it is not a straightforward task with just a compass and a straight edge, because 40 degree is not a product of subtracting or adding and halving these elementary values, right? So if you subtract one angle 90, right? So 90 degree from any other angle or 60 degree from 90 degree, you won't get 40 degree, right? Therefore, it is, you cannot directly draw 40 degree angle using only compass and scale, right? So you need protractor for that, right? Therefore, option B. So 40 degree angle cannot be drawn using only scale and compass. You need protractor for that. Hence, option B is the answer. Question 42. If the measure of an exterior angle of a regular polygon is 45 degree, then the number of its sides is. So students, polygon is a closed figure where all the sides and included angles are equal, right? For example, a pentagon, right? So here pentagon has how many sides? 5 sides, right? So all the sides are equal in their measures and their interior angles. Of course, the exterior angles are also equal, right? So interior angles are equal, right? In a regular polygon. So here, so what is the relation between exterior angle and number of sides of a regular polygon? Right? So in a regular polygon, all the angles are equal. So we'll consider any exterior angle. Exterior angle means if you consider an angle in a polygon as 55 degree, for example, its exterior angle becomes the angle which is outside 55 degree, so that their sum is 180 degree, right? So exterior angle measures 125 degrees, so that you will get a straight line by adding these two, right? Therefore, exterior angle in a regular polygon is always 360 degree divided by number of sides. Number of sides in that regular polygon, right? Here exterior angle is given 45 degree, right? 45 degree. So is equal to 360 divided by, let n be number of sides. So here the question is, what is the number of sides in that polygon, right? Therefore, n is equal to 360 by 45, which is 8. So that polygon has 8 sides. Therefore, so the polygon is an octagon, right? Which has 8 sides. So like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? I'm just drawing a rough diagram. So this is an octagon which has 8 sides, right? Each side, right? So every side measures equal measurement. That means all the sides are equal and also all the angles, interior angles are equal, right? Therefore, if exterior angle is 45 degree, number of sides in that polygon is equal to 8. Option B is the right answer. Question 43. AB and CD are two line segments which intersect at point O. If angle OAC is 60 degree, OCA is 70 degree, OBD is 90 degree, then ODB is. So let us consider two line segments, AB and CD. Right? AB and CD are two line segments which intersect at O. Right? So here OAC angle is given. So we have to join A and C, and B and D, right? So OAC, this angle is 60 degree. OCA, angle C is 70 degree. And OBD, angle formed at B is 90 degree, right angle, right? So we have to find ODB, so this angle, right? So very simple, because of the intersection of two line segment, we have got two triangles, OCA and OBD, right? Let us find angle O in triangle OCA, right? Since angle O in triangle OCA is equal to DOB or BOD, angle O in triangle BDO, right? These two angles are equal because vertically opposite angles, right? So using this angle, angle O in BDO, we can easily find ODB. Very simple. So we'll consider in triangle OCA. So sum of the interior angles in a triangle is equal to 180 degree. We know that, right? Therefore, we'll consider in triangle OCA, angle C plus angle O plus angle A is equal to 180 degree. Three angles, right? So here we need angle O in triangle OCA, right? Therefore, angle O is 180 degree minus angle A is 60 degree, which is given, which is nothing but OOAC, right? OAC angle. Minus angle C is 70 degree. Therefore, it is 180 minus 130 degree. So, angle O is 50 degrees, right? So, angle O is 50 degree. Therefore, in triangle, another triangle, BDO, angle O is 50 degree, right? Because angle O is equal to angle COA in triangle OCA, right? Because these two are vertically opposite angles. Vertically opposite angles, which are equal. Therefore, we need ODB, right? Therefore, angle ODB is equal to, so 180 degrees, sum of three angles in a triangle minus the remaining angles. So here one angle O is 50 degree, another angle is a right angle, so which is given 90 degree. Therefore, 180 minus 140 is 40 degrees. ODB, this angle is 40 degree, right? Therefore, option C is the right answer. Question 44. F, E and V are respectively the number of faces, edges and vertices of a polyhedron. Then which of the following is true? So there is a common relation between faces, edges and vertices of a polyhedron, right? So there are varieties of polyhedron, many types. For example, cube is a polyhedron, a three-dimensional object, right? So whereas triangle is a polyhedron, particularly a prism, right? Prism is a polyhedron. And cube, even cuboid is a polyhedron, right? Then pyramid. So pyramid is a polyhedron. Next comes cone. Cone is also polyhedron, right? So all these are three-dimensional object. Square pyramid. So in which the base is in square shaped, right? So whereas pentagonal pyramid, so its base is a pentagon, right? Hexagonal pyramid is there. Then hexagonal prism. So there are varieties of polyhedrons, right? So we'll consider the case of cube or cuboid, simple case, right? So we'll consider a cuboid, right? So here we'll just imagine the three-dimensional view of a cuboid. This is front face, this is top face. So this is right face, and this I'm drawing is left face. This is bottom face, right? This is a cuboid. So in which number of faces, how many faces are there in a cuboid? So one in the front, one at the back, one on the top. So one at the bottom, one to the right and one to the left. There are 6 faces. And number of vertices in a cuboid. So V is equal to, so 4 vertices at the bottom like this and 4 on the top, right? So totally there are 8 vertices. And number of edges. So in a cuboid, So the number of edges is equal to. So if you consider front face, so there are 4 edges, right? So if you consider back face, there are again 4 edges, right? So in back face also, right? 4 plus 4 becomes 8. And we have 2 more edges here. So 1 at the bottom, 1 on the top, right? So if you consider right face, here already 2 edges are considered while considering front and back faces. So the remaining edges are 1 on the top, 1 at the bottom, right? So 2 faces. When you consider left face, this face, again we have to consider 2 more edges, right? Plus 2. Therefore, totally it is 12. There are 12 edges. What is the relation between them, right? Number of faces are 6. So if you consider E plus V, you will get 6 plus 8, right? Which is equal to 14. Whereas number of edges are 12. Therefore, we can say E plus V minus 2 is, right? E plus V, right? Minus 2 is number of edges. Just rearrange this. So number of vertices plus number of faces. So number of faces is nothing but F. So F plus V minus 2 is number of edges. Therefore, F plus V minus E will take edges to the left side is equal to plus 2. Number of faces plus vertices minus edges is equal to 2. Therefore, option C is the right answer. Question 45. In triangle ABC, O is the midpoint of BC. OA is equal to OB. If angle OBA is 54 degree, then OCA is. So let us consider a triangle ABC, right? ABC. So in which, so we'll consider BC side. O is midpoint of BC. O is midpoint of BC, right? So OA is equal to OB. So we'll consider point A here. So OA is equal to OB. OA is equal to OB. Since O is midpoint of BC, we can say OB is equal to OC. These 3 sides are equal, right? OBA, angle B, this angle is 54 degree. What is the measure of angle C? Right? So here, let us find angle BOA, this angle, right? So how to find that? Considering ABO triangle. So in which angle BAO, this angle is equal to the given angle ABO, right? Because so the opposite angles of equal sides, right? So we'll consider in triangle ABO, right? Angle OBA is equal to angle BAO is equal to 54 degree. These 2 angles are equal because, so if you consider 2 sides which are equal, their opposite angles are equal, right? So opposite angles of equal sides. Right? Therefore, what is the measure of third angle AOB? So what is the measure of this angle? If 2 angles are 54 degree, so sum of the interior angles in a triangle is equal to 180 degree. Therefore, the third angle is, therefore angle AOB is equal to 180 minus sum of remaining angles. So minus 54, one of the angles, and another angle is also 54 degree, right? So which is equal to 180 minus 108 degree, which is equal to 72 degree. So the third angle measures 72 degree, right? To find ACO or OCA, so we need the remaining angles, other 2 angles in triangle AOC, right? Therefore, in triangle AOC, in the second triangle, so what is the measure of angle AOC? Since AOC and AOB, these two angles make a linear pair. Their sum is equal to 180 degree, right? So angle AOC is 180 minus angle AOB. AOB. So 180 minus 72 degree is equal to 108 degree. So angle AOC is 108 degree, right? Since AO is equal to OC, their opposite angles are equal, right? Therefore, since AO is equal to OC, right? In triangle AOC, their opposite angles are equal. So ACO is equal to CAO. Angle ACO is equal to angle CAO, right? Therefore, sum of the interior angles will consider. So to find OC or ACO, right? So angle ACO plus angle CAO or CAO or OAC plus one more angle which is AOC is equal to 180 degree. Right? Three interior angles in the second triangle, this triangle. Right? Since AOC is 108 degree, AOC is 108 degree. So we are going to find ACO or OCA, right? So AC or OCA, ACO, and another angle CAO is also equal to ACO, right? These two angles are equal, which is equal to 180 degree. Therefore, 2 times angle ACO is equal to 180 minus 108, which is 72 degree. Therefore, angle ACO is 72 by 2, which is 36 degrees. ACO or OCA, both are same. So, 36 degree. So, angle OCA, this angle is 36 degree. Hence, option C is the right answer. Question 46. A rhombus has diagonals of lengths 10 centimeter and 24 centimeter. What is its perimeter? So, students will consider a rhombus where all the sides are equal. So, in a rhombus, so all the sides are equal, right? So, we'll consider two diagonals of the rhombus. So, here first diagonal measures 10 centimeter and the other diagonal measures 24 centimeter, right? So, we need perimeter. Perimeter of a rhombus is sum of its sides, right? So, perimeter is equal to sum of its sides, right? So, we'll consider rhombus as ABCD. So in any rhombus, so diagonals bisect each other, right? That means first diagonal, let it be D1, it bisects second diagonal D2. That means it divides the second diagonal into two equal parts, right? So since diagonals bisect each other, at some point, so let the point be O, each other at O. Right, each other at O. So we can say AO is equal to OC is equal to 12 centimeter. Since they bisect each other, so each part, right? So one diagonal is divided into two parts, right? So first diagonal is divided into two parts, each measures 12 centimeter, and BO is equal to OD, which is equal to 5 centimeter. 10 by 2 is 5 centimeter. Right? Now consider one of the triangles here, right? There are 4 triangles formed, right? So we'll consider any triangle because we need one of its sides so that we can easily find it the perimeter of the rhombus, right? So we'll consider AOD triangle, right? In triangle AOD, right? AOD, since diagonals bisect each other perpendicularly, right? So one diagonal is perpendicular bisector of another diagonal, right? So you have to mention, since diagonals bisect each other perpendicularly at O, right? This is important, right? Because while considering the triangles, we can apply Pythagoras theorem only to right angle triangles, right? Therefore, in triangle AOD, so AD square is equal to AO square plus OD square. Right? Pythagoras theorem. Right? So AD square means square of one of its sides, right? So AO is 5 centimeter, 5 square plus AO is 12 centimeter, 12 square plus OD is 5 centimeter, it's a square. So 144 plus 5 square is 25. You will get 169 as AD square. Therefore, AD, we need AD. AD is root of 169, which is 13 centimeter, right? So measure of one of its sides is 13 centimeter. Therefore, the perimeter, right? So perimeter is sum of its sides. We'll consider perimeter is equal to, if each side is equal to 13 centimeter, so 13 plus 13 plus 13 plus 13 or 4 times 13 is 52 centimeter, right? 52 centimeter is perimeter of the given rhombus. Option B. Question 47. A solid metallic cylindrical rod of radius 1.2 centimeter and length 22 centimeter is melted and recasted as a cylindrical wire of radius 2 mm. What is the length of the wire in centimeter? So students will consider a metallic cylindrical rod, right? So cylindrical rod like this of radius. So its radius R is 1.2 centimeter and its length is 22 centimeter. And when it is melted and recasted as a cylindrical wire, so here radius of the cylindrical wire is very small, right? It is 2 mm. So 2 mm is radius of the cylindrical wire. And it is melted to form a wire, right, of certain length, right? So here the question is, what is length of the new wire here, right? What is the length of the new wire? So that the volumes are same, right? The same cylindrical rod is melted to form a cylindrical wire. This is cylindrical rod and this one is wire, right? Their volumes are same, right? So therefore, let us find volume of the cylindrical rod, right? So volume. So since it is a cylinder, volume of a cylinder is pi r square h. The formula says it is pi r square h, right? So pi is 22 by 7. Radius square, radius is 1.2 centimeter, it's a square, into height of the cylinder. Since it is a rod, you have to take length of the cylinder as its height. If the rod is kept like this, it becomes height. Right? Therefore, height of the cylinder is 22 centimeter, right? Simplify it. Here 1.2 square. So since 12 square is 144, 1.2 square becomes 1.44, right? Into 22. So into 22 by 7, right? So we have 1.44 divided by 7. You will get 0.205, right? So 0.205 into 22 into 22, right? So direct multiplication part, you will get 99.56, right? So more than that, if you take the decimal places after two decimal places also, if you take, you will get 99.59 something. You will get, right? Centimeter cube as a volume of the cylindrical rod, right? So moving further, if the same cylindrical rod is melted to form a wire, right? Here volume is same, right? Volume of the wire is again 99.59 centimeter cube, right? So what is the volume here according to the formula pi r square h? Here we need to find the length of the cylindrical wire. So length is nothing but height of the cylinder when it is kept vertically, right? So length is equal to height, both are same. So to find that, again use the same formula. Volume is equal to pi r square h. Here volume is same, 99.59 is equal to, so pi is 22 by 7. So radius of the wire is 2 mm. So 2 mm is nothing but 0.2 centimeter, right? 2 by 10 centimeter. So 0.2 centimeter square into, so length of the wire. Instead of height, we are taking length, right? So it is 22 into 0.2 square is 0.04 into length by 7, right? So 22 into 0.04, you will get 0.88, right? 0.88 by 7, you will get 0.1257. 0.1257 something into L is equal to 99.59. Therefore, length of the wire is 99.59 divided by 0.1257 something. Right? You will get 792.2 something. So round off to the whole number. So which is approximately equal to 792 centimeter, since it is length of the new wire, right? 792 centimeter. Therefore, option B is the right answer. Question 48. 5 cubical wooden blocks having side 10 centimeter each are joined end to end in a row. What is the cost of painting the surface of the solid so formed at the rate of 10 paisa per centimeter square? So students will consider a cubical wooden block like this. Right. So 5 cubical wooden blocks are joined end to end in a row. So that means, so we have to join one more cubical block to the first one. Right. So end to end means like this. So 3, next comes 4, fourth block, and the fifth block. Right. 5 cubical blocks are joined end to end in a row. Right. There are 5 blocks. So each having side 10 centimeters. So length of the first block is 10 centimeter each. So total length becomes 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10. Right? Here the total length of the solid so formed. Solid so formed is a cuboid. Right? By joining 5 cubes, a cuboid is formed. Right? So which has more length compared to their breadth and height, right? So here, if one of the dimensions is other than the remaining dimensions, if all the dimensions are different, right? In other words, we'll get a cuboid, right? Otherwise, if it is a, that means if the lengths, breadths and heights have the same measures, so it is called a cube, right? So here total length is 5 times 10, which is 50 centimeter. Right? But their breadths and heights are same, right? Because width of the cuboid so formed will be only 10 centimeter. Width will be only 10 centimeter, right? So let it be W is 10 centimeter and height of the cuboid is 10 centimeter. So we'll consider L as the total length, right? So here the question is, what is the cost of painting the surface of the solid so formed at the rate of 10 paisa per centimeter square? To paint a small area, so 1 centimeter square area, it takes 10 paisa, right? Therefore, to paint total surface of the cuboid, right? What is the amount to be paid here? For that, we need total surface area, right? So total surface, to be painted or surface area of cuboid. First, we have to find the total surface area of the cuboid. The formula says it is 2 times length into breadth plus breadth into height plus length into height. Right? The formula. Therefore, total surface area of the cuboid is equal to 2 times. Here the length is 50, right? Into breadth is 10 plus breadth is 10 into height is also 10 plus length into height 50 into height again it is 10. Therefore, 2 into 500 plus 100 plus 500. Right? Therefore, it is total surface area of the cuboid is, so 1100 into 2, which is 2200 centimeters square. Right? To paint 1 centimeter square, it takes 10 paisa. Therefore, to paint 2200 centimeters square. Right? Therefore, total cost to paint total surface area. Right? So, cost to paint 1 centimeter square, it takes 10 paisa. Right? Therefore, to paint 2200 centimeters square. So, it takes 2200 into 10. So, 22,000 paisa. So, in terms of rupees, it is 22,000 divided by 100. So, it is 220 rupees. Right? Therefore, amount to be paid or total cost to paint the total surface area of the cuboid is 220 rupees. Option B is the right answer. Question 49. If the mean of the observation 10, 4, 5, 3, 2, 6, 7, 3 is M, first mean is M, and the mean of second observation 2, 5, 3, 10, M and 10 is P. What is the value of M plus P? So we have to find value of M, that is first mean, right? So this first mean is one of the value in the second observation, right? So let us find the first mean, right? By considering the first observation. So 10, 4, 5, 3, 2, 6, 7 and 3. These are the values in the first observation. No need to write these observation in ascending or descending order, since we are going to find only mean here, right? So if the question is asked to find mode or median, you have to write the observations or all the values in ascending or descending order, right? Since we are going to find the mean, so directly take the mean. So mean of the first observation M is equal to, the formula says a sum of all values divided by number of values, or sum of observations divided by number of observations, right? Both are same. Here sum of the values given. So 10 plus 4 plus 5 plus 3 plus 2 plus 6 plus 7 plus 3 divided by, so there are 3 plus 3, 6 plus 2, 8 observations, right? Therefore, so 10 plus 4, 14, plus 5, 19, plus 3, 22, plus 2, 24, plus 6, 30, plus 7, 37, plus 3, 40 by 8. Therefore, mean of the first observation M is equal to 5. Therefore, the second observation becomes a 2, so the second one, 2, 5, 3, 11. So here is M. In place of M, we'll write 5, right? Because first observation's mean is M, which is 5, and the last value is 10. And second observation's mean is P. Mean is equal to P. Again, use the same formula, sum of all values divided by number of values, right? So it is 2 plus 5 plus 3 plus 11 plus 5 plus 10. So in the second observation, we have 6 values. So divided by 6. Therefore, 2 plus 5, 7 plus 3, 10 plus 11, 21 plus 5, 26 plus 10, 36 by 6, which is 6. Therefore, value of P is 6. Value of M is 5. Therefore, M plus P is 5 plus 6, which is 11. Therefore, option B is the right answer. Question 50. Numbers from 25 to 50 are written on different slips. One number on one slip and kept in a box. One slip is chosen from the box at random. What is the probability of not getting a prime number? So students, so before going to the numbers, we'll consider the probability formula, right? So the probability says the favorable outcomes by total number of outcomes, right? Favorable outcomes divided by total outcomes. Total outcomes. So here in this case, what is nothing but favorable outcomes? So the non-prime numbers from 25 to 50 are favorable outcomes, right? So here what we are expecting here, non-prime numbers, right? So non-prime numbers from 25 to 50. So we'll mention non-prime numbers from 25 to 50 are favorable outcomes. So total outcomes are total numbers, right? So total numbers from 25 to 50. So totally we are considering 26 numbers. Including 25, there are 26 numbers from 25 to 50, right? Therefore, probability of not getting a prime number means, so non-prime numbers from 25 to 50 divided by 25 to 50, there are 26 numbers divided by 26, right? For that, we'll consider non-prime numbers from 25 to 50. How many numbers are there which are non-prime numbers? For that, let us consider prime numbers, right? So prime numbers are less in numbers, so we can easily find the numbers, right, which are non-prime numbers. So prime numbers from 25 to 50. So how many prime numbers are there? So prime numbers are nothing but the numbers which are divisible by 1 and the number itself, right? So numbers which are divisible by 1 and the number itself, right? For example, 7, right? 7 is divisible by 1 and 7 itself. And even 11, 13, 19, 17. These are the numbers which are divisible by 1 and the number itself, right? So in the same way, numbers which are divisible by 1 and the number itself from 25 to 50. These are prime numbers, right? So here, 25 is not a prime number. 26 is also not a prime number, right? So then 27, yes, which is divisible by 3, 9, right? So next comes 31, right? 31 is a prime number, which is divisible by 1 and 31. Next comes not 33, not 35. So 37 is a prime number, right? So here all even numbers are non-prime numbers. They cannot be a prime number because so even numbers are divisible by one number at least, which is 2, right? So we'll consider 39 is not a prime number, which is divisible by 3, right? So even 13. Then it comes 41, right? It is a prime number. 43 is a prime number, right? Next comes before 31, we have 29, right? So 29 is a prime number. So which cannot be divisible by any other number other than 1 and 29. Next comes 47, right? So these 6 numbers are prime numbers from, right, 25 to 50. So 49 is not a prime number because it is divisible by 7. 7 into 7 is 49. 49. So there are 6 numbers, 6 prime numbers, right? Therefore, number of non-prime numbers is equal to, so out of 26 numbers, right? There are totally 26 numbers we are considering. So in that 6 are prime numbers. Therefore, non-prime numbers are 26 minus 6. There are 20 non-prime numbers, right? Here, the probability of not getting a prime number is, therefore, required probability is equal to, the formula says favorable outcomes. Here, favorable outcomes are 20. Total number of non-prime numbers out of total outcomes, out of total numbers from 25 to 50. So 20 by 26 is the probability of not getting a prime number. So we can simplify it. So 2 into 10 is 20, 2 into 13. So 10 by 13 is the probability of not getting a prime number, right? Hence option B is the right answer, right? So here, students, with this, I'm completing mathematics part in this paper. If you want to practice all these questions, please visit our website www.examsnet.com. You can also download our app. The link is given in the description box so that you can practice many more questions, right? Bye.